This is Just Listen, hosted by George. Today is February the 10th, 2025. Welcome to the show. And as usual, I would like for you to subscribe to our station and also invite other people to listen to my podcast. My podcast focus is facts and details. And I am in Southern Illinois, so we need to get the word out to voters so that somehow we can affect change in Illinois as well. Okay, so today I want to talk about the U.S. federal government policy with a twist. I want to talk about the sanctuary laws and how it is affecting Illinois. Illinois is a great state. I've lived here for 24 years. The last 10 years or so, I've noticed that we have actively become a sanctuary city. Now, we all know what sanctuary city means. So we're not going to focus on the definition of that. What we're going to talk about is after the election and the current administration in the White House and their immigration policy. It has really become evident to me that there is a huge disagreement between the federal government and the states when it comes to immigration and sanctuary cities. So, this week, and you can find this out on the mainstream media and also on the conservative media about the efforts of Trump administration trying to get people who have committed crimes who are here illegally to be deported. Now, we're going to talk about Chicago and the fact that now that we have the Attorney General, the first order of business was to sue Chicago, Illinois, alleging that sanctuary laws in the nation's third largest city thwart federal efforts to enforce immigration laws. Now, let me say something first. I had to search and find information, and as usual, I am always having to read it several times because unfortunately the people writing the articles are biased for the immigration laws to be open and let everybody in. And unfortunately, a lot of the journalists now on the online publications are doing that. So just to let you know. So we have an effort to crack down on places that limit cooperation between federal immigration agents and local police. Now, this is one of the big issues. It follows the federal government's threats of criminal charges and funding cuts to what are known as sanctuary cities. So that is the essence of it. There is a conflict between federal law and the laws that have been passed by some of the states, one of them being Illinois, which I live in. Now, what the city of Chicago of Illinois is trying to do is pass laws that have protection for immigrants, which in itself is not what they should be doing because the federal law already covers the immigration laws that if you are here illegally in the last 4 years, if you have committed crimes that you can be deported. Now, I told you before, one of the shocking things that the mainstream media have done and the progressive Democrats is to blur everything together and make it appear like immigrants are being rounded up and deported because they're immigrants. And the mainstream media, I blame them for that because they are the ones spreading that. So the issue is, if you are here illegally and you are a criminal, that is who the current administration is trying to deport. Now, Chicago has got on board with the blending, and since they control the state and local governments, are telling the police not to enforce the federal law against people here illegally who commit crimes. And I'll say that again. That's the issue. People who are here illegally who are committing crimes. It wouldn't matter if they were from Russia, if they were from China, wherever they are from. There are no countries on the planet that accept illegal immigrants committing crimes that they would have sanctuary somewhere and be immune from the country's laws. That's what this has turned into. So, Illinois has enacted, they have some of the strongest protections for immigrants. And the border czar, Tom Homan, is only trying to get the criminals who are here illegally out of the country. Now, let's look at who is the ringleader. The ringleader in Illinois is the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson. Now, we don't get WGN News on this end of Illinois. You actually have to subscribe to the app or just go on YouTube and watch. And some of the things that he has said, I am just shocked that he is saying it. And he's one of these people, and I don't normally single out politicians, but this is what he's saying. He is blending all of the immigrants in one bucket, so to speak, and saying that they want to protect them. If people are here legally, he would be correct. He is not correct because the focal point is for people here illegally committing crimes. He is also going to go to Congress next week to talk about sanctuary cities. And one of the things that he is doing that is alarming is they host training for people to learn their rights when it comes to immigration agents and publicize the information at public transit stations. Now, if people are here legally, that will be the case. These people, again, that the administration in Washington is talking about are people who are here illegally, committing crimes. Even when the progressives are talking in Chicago, they are talking about immigrants in general. And also, in case you didn't know, the Attorney General of Illinois is turning a blind eye to it as well. And federal law always trumps state law. All right, so here are the two current laws that you need to be aware of if you live in Southern Illinois. The first one is the Trust Act. Local law enforcement for holding a suspect solely because of an immigration detainer or warrant and prevents local agencies from helping with immigration operations or sharing information about detainees. They passed this in the Illinois legislature. This actually gives illegal immigrants in the country committing crimes more rights than actually American citizens. That's the only way that you can see something like this. And it passed. And the other one is the Human Rights Act. Immigration status means a person's actual or perceived citizenship or immigration status in Illinois. All immigration statuses are equally protected from discrimination in housing regardless of whether the immigration status is actual or perceived. That's another way of saying that if they are here illegally in the sanctuary city, you can't do anything against them whatsoever. Now, we are focused on immigrants coming from the South American countries, but we really need to look at anyone coming to the United States illegally, be it Russian, Chinese, from the Bahamas, from Haiti. The sanctuary city concept is a little flawed. If people are here legally, which the federal law allows, then they are protected under the law. And also, if you listen to the mainstream media, they keep saying basically that they want the sanctuary cities to ignore federal law from the perspective of local, state, and local police officers turn a blind eye. Now, you know the Laken-Riley Act was just done by Congress and signed into law by President Trump. This was a good law that Congress passed because the sanctuary cities, and the audience has to figure out what their motive is. What is the motive of not following the law and allowing people who are here illegally who have committed crimes to stay in the country? Places like Chicago, when you listen to the mayor of Chicago speak, it makes absolutely no sense to why he condones that behavior, especially since the voters in Chicago are against him too, which I will have to do another program about to talk about that. Please weigh in if you listen in Illinois. Let me know what you think. This is Just Listen, hosted by George. Please subscribe. Have a great day.